Yeah. All right. Gives us a thumbs up, and we are live for the first time in season 5 of the Brunswick Racing League. Season 5, I guess, of the Cup Series. We are still in season 4 of the truck, or season 3. I don't know. Let's not get into numbers. Tonight, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. The only number that matters to any of these drivers is 40, because that's the lap you need to be leading on when this all comes to being said and done. 10 drivers, the 10 best drivers in Brunswick Racing League, or I don't know about all that, but 10 of the best drivers in Brunswick Racing League headline the field and will have a shot tonight to win the Great American Race. Here as we go through the starting grid, the top 2 in qualifying, the 24, Samuel 24, rookie, now coming in to take the pole position, and starting back in second is the 7 of Bella. Second row, the 17, another rookie of PETA, picking the outside, now move to the inside. Connor starts as the defending champion back in the 4th position. Back in 5th is the 3 of Caden, and the 5 of Nook on his outside, the 3rd place finisher in last season's standings. The 38 of Chris and the 47 of Jimmy further back, and then the 44 of Gage starting alongside Rocky. We'll have Trey joining in at the back of the field as a sub driver for Handel. Heading into the Geico restart zone for the first time this season. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's get this season underway, boys.
And we are, in fact, underway. The 24 got the jump over the 7, but behind them, 3-4 wide between the 9, 5, and the 38 as they head into 1, and the high line begins.
Down there on the bottom, though, has been where the 2 cars of Samuel and Bella have been able to get out in front. So far, really no connection behind them. Everybody aggressive and jostling for positions on this first lap. The guy who's already working his way forward, here comes that 38 car, Pickle Chris, already working his way, but he has lost a good bit of time on the entrance of corner. I'd be curious to see if that line gets any more formed up on the exit, as now Connor jumps up to the top of the racetrack off turn 4. Lap number 1 of the Brunswick Racing League season will be led by Nook. Flip on lap number 1. Connor's upside down. Whoa. We stay green for now. Connor's going to merge. He gets into Trey back there. Around as well, now goes Caden. Will stay green still, but lots of contact and roughing around. Nobody in big races last night, and now everybody with the big show on the line is getting more aggressive. There's a lot of laps in this thing, but they've got to make it to the last.
Yep, and that high line is starting to form. Here comes the 17. I have no idea who that is, but here they come, the 17.
That is PETA.
Away with the 24.
PETA takes the lead, but on the low side is Bella. Samuel makes it 3 wide. Gage gonna put it 4.
Oh wait, I just
the 17 of PETA will continue to lead this race 4 wide still here at Daytona. And this is unbelievable racing, nothing like what we saw in Duel 2, much more similar to Duel 1. Nobody with an alliance ever is jostling to try and get to the front of this field.
I just realized 17 drives for me, and we were just 4 freaking wide in turn 2. My goodness, what great racing we've already had already here.
And look at who's leading the Great American Race. The 44 of Gage now takes the lead here at Daytona. He led about 6 laps last night in the duel. Barely transferred through. It was a battle of inches. But tonight, headlines the field at Daytona here on lap number 3.
Gage hasn't raced here in a really long time. It's good to see him back. But now the 17 is going to retake the lead in that beautiful paint scheme. But it looks like the 24 and 5 look to potentially have a challenge here as they're side by side coming out of 2.
Here Here comes Jimmy up to the top of the racetrack. Help from Chris and Caden. Now Jimmy on the outside of the racetrack driving the 47, going to take the lead, trying to hold on to it is going to be the big key there. He does have really no help behind him, but even without it, PETA has not been able to do much. He will pull alongside him, actually noses out ahead, but Jimmy with a monster run off turn 4 takes the lead back, but the bottom just 2 formed up right now. It'll be the 17 of PETA who continues to lead the way.
Really good, as that 17 is not one for a very long time. Can they pull something off? And especially for a team like Rouge's Garage, they're holding really good. It tends to be very good super speedway racing for this team overall, but Jimmy is on the attack in that 47. He's going to put up a hell of a fight. That's all I'm going to say.
And they're now starting to get formed up on the high side. About 6 cars on that outside, 3 on the bottom. 17 needs to get up or he's going to be out of luck, because this run is going to be significant for Jimmy and Chris, as well as the cars behind. As now we see the 5 of Nook jump down to the bottom. Gage considers it. He's going to go ahead and veto that option and stay on that high side. Side by side for the lead through the trial. The leader still PETA, but here comes Bella to put it 3 wide on the low side.
What a move by the 7. Problem is, I don't
Crash!
think they're going to have the elbow.
Chris in the air. The 24 on the 8.
Hold on. That is Stock Car Thunder for you right there, but look at the 7 with a beyond amazing move. But
and we just saw Chris pop a wheelie in a cup car, and all he had to say was that is Stock Car Thunder, which just headlines how wild this race has been. In just the first 20, or not even the first 20, the first 13% of it, it's been wild already. It's 4 wide for the 2nd position. Gage yet again headlining the field tonight, looking to lead his 2nd lap. Jimmy is around, and he is up and over.
ooh.
Tumbles down the front stretch and into the inside safer barrier. We stay green as Gage leads the Great American Race.
Yeah, hard crash there for Jimmy in the 47 there, but luckily, usually when he flips, he does win races, so we shall see. We shall see indeed. But here is the 3 of Caden leading the race, but with the help of Bella, and out of 2, in the 5 is Diddy Nook, trying to make a run on the outside, but it looks not to be enough right now.
The 3 of Caden out in front, trying to win his first Brunswick Racing League event in any series, and he wants to do it on the biggest stage possible. This is the BRL 500 right here on BRL Live. I think Brunswick has this on NBC, but I'm not going to address that. I want to keep this realistic within the confines of road racing, but also, like, I don't want to make stuff up. I don't want to talk about pit crew members getting run over when that's I don't want to talk about pit crew members getting run over when there's no pit crew members. That's just making stuff up, and it's kind of silly.
Right. I mean, why is it ticker? It looks very similar to the NBC ticker, but
well, I say that because there's a logo on there on Brunswick Stream that says NBC. As now actually what I never expected to happen tonight is happening, and that is a low side train. Of all the things I could think of in the BRL Stock Car Thunder Daytona 500, a low side train would have been way on the bottom. As talking about things that aren't on the bottom, the 17 shoots it around the outside to take the lead here as we have just met the 20% mark of the BRL 500.
Wow, 5th already through this race. Wow, that was quick.
But it was exciting.
Definitely 100%. Caden's still leading the bottom. He's been holding on really well so far in that 3 car. He's led a couple laps already, but the 6 and the 7, I know, and the 17 are on the charge.
And that is a big shot of momentum that Bella and Trey were able to get down there on the low side as well. Now Gage going to get to the 6, and you notice these pushes are bigger than ever here, as when we move from MWRT to Stock Car Thunder, there's so much less of an emphasis on, you know, controlling the bottom, lane control, things like that. Making moves is more encouraged, but I will say there's also a silver lining in which I would tend to say that the Stock Car Thunder game model is actually sometimes worse for passing, because yes, the bottom and the top seem to, you know, have a lot of lane changes, but if everybody were to migrate up to the top, it would be very, very hard to pass effectively whatsoever, as now we've seen a majority of the field move up. If Caden doesn't get up with him, then Trey might knock him back about 5, maybe even 6 or 7 rows. And I know Chris is going to not be happy that I said that, but that was not even intentional.
Oh, God, I even said the same thing. But the difference between MWRT and Soccer Thunder basically is the MWRT cars tend to be a little more sensitive, so spin physics are definitely a big thing there. But now, since moving on to Soccer Thunder, that doesn't exactly have spin physics, and it's more encouraged. Really, if you make a mistake, it really won't cost you.
Not as much. I wouldn't say that so far as it doesn't cost you, but it's not going to cost you as much. And can I also just commend the developer, Chris, jostling into Nook, everybody getting together up there. I was going to commend the developers on the sounds of these cars, much better than MWRT.
Oh, 100%.
They sound way more intense and way more, they sound way more like a real car rather than a made-up car sounds. Now, Chris trying to put a challenge 3x3 up at the front of this thing. Now down onto the apron goes Caden and Nook. And they're trying to come back up. That ain't gonna work, boys.
Whoa.
Contact. Up in the air goes the 7. 3 wide. The 3 into the wall. And he goes flying up. Caution is out on number 12 for the first time in the Season 5 BRL 500.
Wide.
They're 5 wide under caution. And a drive-through for Caden now being awarded, as Samuel is throwing the protest flag on that. Says it's only one car. What's the point of throwing the caution? And, I can tend to agree. There's been 2 other flips this race, and no caution was thrown. I guess that was just more right there in the middle of the pack and maybe a little more, in that danger zone where you might trigger a 5-car wreck, and maybe Brunswick just reacted fast and clicked that button before he really needed to. And, I can commend that just because a reactionary caution is going to be a whole lot more, it's going to be a whole lot harder than a precautionary caution. That's a funny thing to say. As you could see, the 3-car was heading right at the catch fence, which of course doesn't matter, but he's heading right at the catch fence with cars right under him. If he bounces off that fence and into the rest of the field, then other people have lost their spots. And this could just turn out to be a very bad situation for everyone. As he rides on his roof off top of the 8 of Rocky. And that will draw the...
I do think to an extent that was the right call, just because he was right in the middle of the field. I feel like that could have gone very wrong, and I'm glad it didn't.
I mean, I'm on the side with Samuel with, I don't quite get the caution, but I can justify why it happened. I see what Brunswick was thinking. I don't agree with what Brunswick was thinking, but, that's not for me to agree with. As earlier in the race, I said there was 10 cars in this field. That number has expanded some, and I believe now that number is 11, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
As 3 people sitting out of this in the server, those being myself, Brunswick, and Lefty.
Yep.
We're under caution here in the 5th running of the Brunswick Racing League 500. Bella headlines the show in the number 7 Brandt machine, the Rookie of the Year last season, also awarded the greatest intermediate driver of last season due to her dominant performances at Kansas and Texas last season. Driving into the pit boxes for the first time, caution flag pit stops right here in BRL.
Moving on the 7, let's see how good her stop's going to be. It looked pretty good. She is ahead of the 38 and the 47. We'll see if that's going to be enough. It's going to be close. It's 3 wide.
Side by side. Here comes Chris. Won't be enough. Bella off pit road first. Edges out Chris. And that will be our first set of pit stops in this season. And let's, real quick, talking about what went on throughout the last season, while we're under this caution, we can highlight a few award winners from last season. We can go right here. I have the list of awards.
Oh boy.
And let's look at the race leader, PETA. He is a rookie this season and will likely be contending for the Rookie of the Year as they choose now in the back straightaway. Some award winners here include Chris, who won the Super Speedway Specialist Award after picking up 3 Super Speedway wins in the Season 4. Won
Where did
at
he win?
the
Where did he win?
second Atlanta race as well as both Talladega Super Speedway races. Another award winner is Nook. He won the best overtake of the season, driving it 3 wide up the middle in the Brickyard 400 to pick up the victory on the last lap.
Yeah, that was some move. I'll say that.
Driver of the Year, both from the drivers and the awards panel. Crash Connor under caution. And we were about to talk about Connor as he goes around. Both from the drivers and the awards panelists, they picked Connor the driver of the year.
100% consistent, and that's why he's there, man. That's 100% the correct choice.
As well now, talking about some of the award winners who are not here. The short track specialist went to Fenty, actually.
He was good.
Fenty. Zach won the least popular driver.
Wow, I didn't win. Let's go.
The sportsmanship award went to Monk.
Oh, that's fair.
Another driver I did not mention, comeback of the year, went to Trey last season.
Really?
Road ringer of the season last season went to Handle.
That's interesting.
Team of the year went to SMS, of course. After locking up 2 championship spots as well as the championship.
Yeah, their team is absolutely disgusting.
They were great last season, and BRL has the history of super teams. Go back to Season 2 when Awesome Autosport was racing, and that for a season or so, for Awesome Autosport in Season 2 and even Season 3, when I wasn't even here, but Awesome Autosport reigned with Duncan's leadership. Those 2 seasons, that team was unstoppable. 34 and Duncan, the champions of that team.
Oh, man.
And 34, I mean, Season 2, a championship lockout with Luca, Chris, Duncan, and 34, all going to the championship, driving Awesome Autosport automobiles. Awesome Autosport now only fielding 1 car and has been rebranded to Beer Motorsports. And that was really because I just didn't feel like running a team anymore, and now Rocky drives that. Actually, I think Rocky actually might be back on Connor's team as we now resume racing. 15 laps down and 25 left in the Great American Race.
Yep, we are back underway to say the least. The 7 with yet another phenomenal jump, but the 17, 38, and 9 are going to try to make something happen on the top. But the 5 on the attack on the bottom. The 7 makes a phenomenal block, but maybe a little late. May not be, some of the drivers might not be happy with that block.
And this is more like what I thought we would see in this race, with a lot of drivers jumping around to the top. But as soon as I say that, everybody getting more filed in on the bottom. Chris helped from Connor and Nook, the SMS cars. Trey, an SMS driver, not driving an SMS car tonight, driving the number 6, subbing for Handle. All the SMS guys on the bottom. PETA and Bella side by side. It'll be Bella who leads that lap. As now down the front stretch, the outside completely dissipated. They're going to have to get some more cars up there to help them, as really the only ones up there is Rocky, Jimmy, Samuel, and PETA. PETA now jumps down to the bottom. So too does Rocky. Up to the top goes Chris and Connor. Now looking up there as well as Trey. Everybody kind of looking around as PETA, I believe, has just frozen and will now head off the speedway.
Yep. I do want to talk about one thing. It's been going around a lot about road racing in other places, specifically Roblox. I think there was something about the 16 plus rule. I'm not sure if that when that implies. Do you know if you have an answer to that?
I think it's sometime soon. I don't know when it is. I know it's sometime soon. But what you have to understand is that Roblox does have a tendency to, backtrack on these kinds of things. If you don't remember, there was a rumor going around that Roblox was going to remove the traditional face feature for a while and replaced it with animated faces. But here we are, May 2026, months after that was leaked to happen. That has not happened, and so some of this Roblox rumors just they never actually come to be reality. Into the wall goes Jimmy, but yes, I am aware of the rumor you are referring to, and I do believe that based on the knowledge that I have of it, I don't think that it's a lot to worry about. I think most of the games affected will probably have a significant amount of players.
Mm-hmm. It will be interesting to see, especially because maybe not everybody in this series is exactly 16. They're a little, some are younger, some are older. But
oh yeah, there's all kinds of BRL drivers, ranging from guys like TJ who are grown adults to guys like Trey who are nowhere near that number. TJ, correct me if I'm wrong, he's like 21, 22, and Trey, it's definitely not. I'm not gonna, go around leaking people's ages that are underage,
right.
because you never know really what's going on with them. But what I will say about this whole thing is, whoa, Trey around and into the
Whoa!
Very similar to the McDowell crash from 2024. Landed on all four wheels and will continue to drive.
Thank God for that. That could have been
And
so much worse.
Just another comment. When did Daytona get in this field?
Wait, what the? Oh my God! Wait, where is bro been?
Now joining us, the 12th car in this race. This was a 10-field capped race in what last season was an 8-car field. Now 12 cars, the size of the 500, back to glory as Chris leads at the halfway notch.
Does that mean I get to race now if we're really just letting people in?
I know, let me in the race. I can drive.
Yeah, man, we're all ready, man.
I know. I don't want to duel yesterday if you let me in it, which I didn't qualify for license. But I do want to address another thing, Lefty, while we're, having somewhat normal racing, is the addition of one of the most exciting things in the scene in a hot moment is the addition of Eldora to MWRT. I think that's going to be a hot date on the calendar, and it's going to add variation. New drivers going to have a shot to win, as it's just going to be a whole new skill set introduced. And man, that's an exciting date on the calendar. San Diego and tracks like that'll, I'm sure, be coming over the summer. Nothing I think that you could add would make me as excited as the first dirt race to be run in MWRT. Really a competent, somewhat of a somewhat of a not branding itself as an arcadey game for Roblox. Most of the races that you're going to get on dirt in here are going to be kind of arcadey, and they're not going to really even be great examples of dirt racing. They're going to be more examples of basically road stock is what most of them are going to be. Whereas now we've been introduced to an actual cup cars on dirt. Whoa! Bella around and into the hedge fence, lands it and drives it. Pow!
Wow. But,
oh my goodness, Connor does the block on Trey, and he gets up on the back of him, got in his mirror.
That was one hell of a wreck, to say the least. But going back to what you were saying about Eldora, my question is, what will the setups be like? Just because people have different driving preferences, and it might work for some people more than others. So
that track has been out for, to my knowledge, less than 48 hours, and I can already tell you that I've had over 100 laps on that speedway. It is unlike any NWRT race you have ever run. You're going to have to relearn how to drive the car, and I say that because I had to relearn how to drive the car as someone that prides myself on having a little dirt experience in road racing. Formerly a VPR driver in the modified series, drove a couple dirt races there, as well as driving some actual dirt late models on dirt in a couple of leagues, and as well some World of Outlaw game stuff. But I can tell you, it's unlike any of that. You're not going to want to use any of that to practice. It's just one of them things. If you don't know how to drive a dirt car, it's going to take a lot. And I will tell you, it is not like MWRT either. It's not an MWRT. Crash, Chris, Jimmy, Daytona, double flips here at Daytona. Will that draw the yellow? Yes, it will.
Welcome back, synchronized flipping, and my goodness, what a wreck that was. Wow.
Caution out for the second time, and guess what? It's on another 12-lap increment.
All I'm going to say was that was not on my bingo card. Synchronized flipping in a Stock Car Thunder game? Wow. That is honestly one of the craziest and wildest things you'll ever see.
Well, I can tell you this. If my numbers are correct, the next caution will be with 5 to go.
I would not mind a 5 to go yellow. I'll say that's for sure. But obviously, a lot of things are gonna have to happen in order for that to happen. But
we just saw a lot of things happen.
Coco.
Lefty, I would say it's probably less likely that we make it that far than that there's not a caution with 5 to go. As Nook, Connor, Samuel, most of the field filing into pit road, and Chris, yes, stays out.
Will that work in his favor? I have absolutely no idea.
We've got a big stack up in pit road. Bella, Caden, Trey, Jimmy as well. Everybody banging doors. Trey is not happy.
There's our beer all shenanigans.
Yep.
Wondering when that was going to happen.
Always have to wonder.
Chris trying to save fuel when he spins it. Wow. Okay, Chris has spun the car out and he just got nailed by the 44. What? Absolutely monster hit. No idea if I just lost a mister there, but
no, you didn't lose me. I'm just not talking because this is just typical BRL caution shenanigans.
Yep, and we just got more of it because Chris just got absolutely annihilated by God knows who. I don't know if they're going to let him back to the front, but I think they will. That is not so. I mean, that is BRL shenanigans. Don't get me wrong, but that was pretty hard hit. I don't think I've taken a hit harder than what just happened there.
And you know what? Before I forget, before the race started, Rocky wanted me to remind everyone that, as per usual, his pick to win this race is that number 9 a counter.
You know, I think that is a possible pick, but I just don't see Connor as a super speedway guy, but who knows?
Oh, no, Lefty, that's not a pick. That's a tradition. Rocky's tradition is picking that number 9 a counter to win every race.
Really?
Well, most races. There's a couple races in the past where he picked guys like Big Nook, and I actually think Nook won the race where he picked him. I think that was an Indy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I wouldn't know if it was right because I don't remember, but, you know, we'll, uh, we'll see if that number 9 of Connor can get it done. The defending champ now picked up 6 wins last season and pretty much was unanimously the best driver that BRL saw last year, but it wasn't, it was a huge step in the opposite direction of what we saw the season prior with 34 just absolutely controlling, no questions about anything. Connor was the best by stats, but man, there was just a lot of times when Connor looked beatable in comparison to 34, who was more on the poor time type of train where he just barely looked beatable. And now he's not even in the series, retired, ran part-time last season, went winless as a huge surprise. Went winless last season on a part-time basis. And now we'll see if any of these young drivers, maybe Pito or Samuel, can take over for him in the shoes that he's now left wide open in this new season of BRL. And that all starts tonight with who comes out victorious in the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, heading back to the iRacing restart zone. I said it wrong earlier. Don't shoot me, Nook. We are back into the iRacing restart zone and are back underway as Samuel drives off with the lead. That was a good restart for Connor as well. Yes, I'm saying Connor differently only because that's how Rocky likes to say it when he picks him, only when he picks him. But there's a different name circling around in the community, Connor, right now, that being Chud Custer. Which doesn't do Cole Custer enough justice because calling him a chud is not true. But Connor is being called Chud Custer. You can yo, Jimmy makes a bad block. Trey into him, and up in the air, and over goes Jimmy for a second time.
Oh, that was bad.
And we stay green. 12 laps to go in the Great American Race.
I split up the pack a little bit. Daytona is holding the 3.
Samuel looked at a line under Chris. Help from Bella. Connor down there on the low side. Gets help from Gage. It's a 6-car pack at the front, but a little disconnect behind between Daytona, Caden, Rocky, and others. 12 laps remain in the Great American Race. And this is the highest stakes race of the season. We kicked the season off with it. And we all know everybody wants to win it right now. Looking to win his second, be the first repeat winner of the BRL 500. That 38 of Chris. But now Samuel looking to the bottom. And to those that hear the name Chris, Daytona 500 winner, Season 3, that might be an unfamiliar topic because last they saw, Season 3, 34 crossed the line first. And that would be true. He did do that. He was disqualified almost a season later because it was determined that he was not racing on his own account during the dual race, which would have qualified him into the 500. He did not qualify into the Daytona 500 on his own merit and had no provisional make it, which means he was disqualified and his spot of P1 given to Chris as a Daytona 500 champion. So Chris has actually never crossed the line first in the Great American Race here in BRL. Now, 10 laps to go, he'll have a shot at just that.
100%. But speaking of that, look at the racing. We got 3 wide, 4 wide, side by side. It is amazing racing so far. With the 30 and the 7 are having a phenomenal battle for the lead. Using that highlight to his advantage. Looks like Chris might come out with the lead, but they are side by side out of 2.
And a great run off the top by Chris. Gets all the way out ahead of Bella and Samuel. Daytona up on the top. Everybody hooked together really well up on the top of the track. Everybody on the bottom sliding back, and the top hooked up like a fine oiled machine. Right now, heading back to 9 laps to go. Chris still pacing the field with Samuel on his bumper. Around goes Daytona, saves it. But he got into the wall, and that could have been a huge detriment to the field if that one would have ended up in down. That is right in danger zones for everybody behind us. Now Daytona looks to the outside of Samuel. Down on the low side is Samuel, Connor, and Rocky. Looking even lower is Caden. Everybody looking around. Contact. Into the wall goes Connor. Here comes Nook on the low side.
I could have been beyond worse. I'm glad it wasn't, because that would have been by far the biggest wreck of the day.
Yeah, the biggest wreck of the day. It was close. It was not far away from it, and there will definitely be a big one incoming. We are not far away from when that action starts to ramp up and when everybody wants to make the block, but the hole isn't necessarily big enough to do it. 8 laps to go. 20% of this race is all that remains, and with all that's at stake, the intensity is preparing to ramp up to 11. Daytona with help from Nook. Down the track goes Nook, throws the block on Connor. No help from Nook. He'll look back up to the high side. Help from Samuel. Down the back straightaway, still very orderly for this late in a race like the Daytona 500. Daytona now looks to the inside, goes back to the outside. He'll stay with the 5 of Nook for the time being.
That is for now, but Nook hasn't really... I mean, he's shown flashes of speed, but he's never really gotten higher than 3rd or 2nd so far in this race. Daytona, out of nowhere in the 91, though, he has the potential of winning this race. He just hasn't shown it at all in any of the seasons he's raced yet, but it'll be interesting to see if that 91 Morgan & Morgan car comes out on top.
Never a Cup victor, but today would be the day maybe better than others. Because today would be the day he wins at a track he's named after on Discord. Daytona, winning at Daytona in the biggest stage. The one where everybody's calling his name for the rest of his time in BRL. The Great American Race, Daytona, pacing back behind Chris, waiting for that move. And the field is, like I said, stayed very orderly. Now a 3-car train on the low side. Big train to the low side. Everybody to the side.
Whoa.
Coming back to 6 laps to go.
6 to go indeed, and look at the 3-wide battle between Nook, Daytona, and Connor.
And they are side by side for the lead. Here comes Nook, 3 wide for the lead. Connor maybe trying to make it 4. Oh my goodness. The intensity ramps up as soon as we make a remark. Everybody out of line, trying to see where the run's going to go. Daytona with a huge shove, and he has stayed committed to Chris in this whole thing. Will his loyalty be rewarded with a win? We are 5. Crash around the...
Whoa.
It is Nook up and over and into the pack. We've got one riding. It's Rocky. We throw the caution, and Chris is flipping under it, but he'll be the leader.
Wow, he hit a wall clip.
At the perfect time as well, because of the time of caution. The 38 will be the leader. And Lefty, look what lap it is. It is 5 laps to go in the BRL 500. Well, the caution was thrown with 6 laps to go, but nevertheless, 12 lap increments. 5 laps to go, and we are under caution in the BRL 500, preparing for a late race restart.
I said we were going to get a Diddy Nook flip, and here we are again.
Well. What's new there?
Nothing. Just about nothing. Wow, yeah.
And look at it.
Just looking back at the wreck with Chris there towards the end, he did look to hit a wall clip, and I think somebody hit his quarter panel, which spun him around and flipped him over. But thank goodness he is still in the lead for his sake.
I will tell you this, Lefty, I've been talking an awful lot about Ona and Chris at the front, but there's a guy or I may not even say guy, that's been sneaky about what's happening here in the Great American Race. We've not talked about her a lot. We haven't even seen her at the front a lot, but she's been there nevertheless. Just because we haven't commented doesn't mean that this couldn't be her moment. Bella has been pretty much up at the front of this for the majority of the race. And now it's a late race restart for the Rookie of the Year from the season 4 to try and win her first Great American Race and her first non-intermediate track victory in the Brunswick Racing League.
Will definitely be interesting. That 7 has been very close to the front most recently. I feel like she has a very good chance of winning this race, especially where she's been running most of the day. Just about first or second, she's been leading lines. She's shown the potential that she can win this race over all the others, and I think it could very, very well happen today.
I think so too, but you know, it's not about leading a line, it's about leading the line. Winning the race, you can't just lead a line of cars. There's going to be 2 or 3, maybe even 4 of them as they come to the checkered flag. That, or there'll be a line of cars crashing as one drives through amongst a heap of rubble and stands atop the mountain of sheet metal.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong there, but what I am hoping for this finish is that I hope we get another last lap flip and some much more chaotic last laps.
Man, I'm looking at hopefully a photo finish. It's going to be tough for me to call, but man, it will be great for these viewers and everybody. We deserve a treat tonight after the race, and we've watched. I think that's exactly what we might get. Has Chris Daytona side by side, heading back to 3 laps to go, and a 3-lap restart, trusting these guys to go 3 laps without a crash. When the stakes are the biggest race in the Brunswick Racing League, I think it's a big ask. Will these drivers do it? And the wise words of Clint Boyer, absolutely not.
Yep, but when you put them in a game like Stock Car Thunder, it could very, very well happen. If we were in MWRT, I think we'd have double the costumes right now.
Sand running out of the hourglass. Time ticking away. Moves being ready to be made. History being ready to be made. The great American race comes down to a 3-lap shootout between 12 of the best drivers. We are back underway here in the BRL 500.
That is a good start for Chris, and absolutely what he needed. But will it be enough to hold off the 91? Does not look like it, but here comes the 9 pushing the 91 through to the lead.
Slider.
The 91 go, oh! Contact.
Crossovers well.
Almost. Wow.
Out of turn number 2, the 91 of Daytona holds the lead over Chris, and now Trey up to second. Trey hooking up on the 91, but the outside, the only thing that looks very hooked up right now, 2 by 2 at the front of this pack, heading back to 2 laps to go. It is Samuel now pushing Daytona, a mysterious man to say the least. Nobody's ever heard guy, but now with 2 laps remaining in the 500, he is in prime position to score his first BRL victory.
It would definitely be interesting to see 2 laps remaining. Daytona versus the 6. I believe that is Trey Sutton from their side by side into 1. Trey holding strong, but not very good when it comes to blocking these guys, but he has a little more.
Here comes Samuel to the top.
Whoa, what a move.
Samuel to the top, takes the lead. Jimmy in second. Now maybe the shotgun position to win this race.
Wow, what a move on 24. The 47's up there. He was my pick, but I'm not going to jinx it yet.
Connor in the air. Into the pack. The field almost comes apart. The caution comes out before any for the field to come apart, and now we'll go to BRL overtime.
Wow, I had a feeling Connor was going to be the victim again, and I was right. What a wreck. Looks like the 47 was the cause of the wreck. Got into the 9 and sent him flying. Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, and that was one of those things. If the BRL overtime rule hadn't been instated, we talked about it yesterday, then there would be a very unfortunate finish to this race. A caution flag finish. That does not remain. Choose now. To the outside is Samuel. And now to the inside, the 44 of Gage. That would be maybe the biggest upset in the history of BRL if he found a way to scooch through and win this thing. After all we've seen today, he has not been at the front of it for more than about 2 laps. He has never been a consistent contender. I wouldn't even say he's ever contended for a win in BRL. if he came out here and won this today, I want you to imagine a spreadsheet with all the possible gambling odds on it. This isn't, you're not gambling on a row race, but imagine a spreadsheet with all the gambling odds on it. Gage would be down there at about plus 15,000.
He would be right there, but problem is he gonna have enough help? I don't know. Is Nook gonna be willing to push? He hasn't been like that, but green flag.
It is overtime in the BRL 500.
Wait, what?
The white flag not out, I believe. This is 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go. I think it's 2 laps to go.
We just saw how many go, man. It's just overstimulating.
2 laps to go here in the BRL 500. Time running out. Samuel leads this field, a rookie, an unheard of rookie. Asked everyone in the field who he was. Not one would be able to tell you. Gage, maybe the biggest underdog winner, if he were to take one home. Now, the field is going to have a lap and a half to determine who wins this race and wins a spot in the history books in the Brunswick Racing Lead.
Now to turn 4 as they'll see the white flag. Gage with a big run in the 44 from the help of Nook. Here comes Gage for the lead, but can he get there?
Big gap behind Samuel. Needs help from Connor.
Ooh.
Needs help from Connor and Gage if he wants to stay ahead of this thing. Nook now gonna get out in front. They crash. It's Connor and Trey. They are around and out of
and
Here comes Nook. Here comes Chris. The field with runs behind Samuel. Who's gonna be there?
Middle.
Chris moving down the track. Bella up top, banging doors. Chris to the outside. Samuel can't block it. Nook on the bottom. 3 wide for the lead. This is the finish of the Great American Races Season 5. Samuel crashes. Nook around as well. To the line. It's going to be the 38. Who's going to score his second BRL 500?
He's done it again.
Unbelievable. He has done it.
Wow. And Chris has put himself in the history books again as he wins his second ever BRL 500. Unbelievable.
The Super Speedway Ace, why he won that award with a last lap pass to remember, put it by the fence 3 wide, and is now smoking the grass in the BRL 500.
I did not think that move was going to work. Going in the middle, that is one of the worst lanes you could choose, especially on a super speedway. But he is the super speedway king for a reason. He made that lane work, and it was a phenomenal race and phenomenal pass to watch. Unbelievable. Absolutely phenomenal move by that 38 as he brings home the checkered flag and will win another VRL 500. But overall, just what a phenomenal race. We actually had a lot of green flag runs. I thought overall it was probably one of the cleanest BRL races you will ever see. And I think that was because the lack of spin physics definitely helped the racing product. For sure. Especially the Highline, I think overall helped a lot too. But I am so glad we were able to put on a hell of a show here at Daytona. I think Mista might be going to celebrate with Chris, but I'm not sure. Dang. Just, wow. Couldn't get much better than that. Sneak an interview with Chris here. Hopefully. I have no idea. But, yeah, just, what a race. Maybe the best BRL 500 we have ever had. Maybe the game change was necessary, but who knows? Chris parks it on the front stretch. He's going to go celebrate with the crowd after a phenomenal showing here at the Great American Race. And he's going to say, F it, we're going to do more. More burnouts for the 38. Speed cash machine, and he's going to smack the wall. Really good, Chris. Really good. But yeah, what a race. What a race. And Chris, in the 38, going to drop to victory lane. Let's give you a final rundown of the order here at Daytona International Speedway. Chris, the 38 is your victor. He is going to pull in the victory now. Second again is Nook. Not just ever so close. Lost it by 17 thousandths of a second. But what a great run for that 5. Definitely needed a good day, and he got it there. Daytona spawned into the race completely out of random. Finishes 3rd. What a race for him. Overall, what a race. Bella will finish 4th in that 7 Brant machine. Hayden in the number 3 Good Runs machine will finish 5th. Jimmy in that Penguin number 47 finishing 6th. Rocky in the number 8 Budweiser finishing 7th. I'm not sure who Football John is, but he finished 8th. Connor 9th. And the 24, after leading on the last lap, finished in 11th. What a race. Looks like Chris has joined the VC. We could very well be getting an interview with your winner. Hopefully that is the case, because that would be awesome.
Hi.
Well, here he is, the driver of the number 38 Speedy Cash Ford. Pickle Chris. I am astonished by that move. Take me through the last lap from your perspective.
Okay, my last perspective was we got to the white flag. I saw Connor. He was in front of me, the guy who I most likely was going to push him to the win because I didn't have any really other moves. Until he had an incident with Trey where he took out both of them. So now I'm on the perspective of I'm getting a run because of a push by Bella on the back straightaway. So I went for the move. Samuel goes he goes to block me and Diddy. He blocks Diddy, which ruins both of their momentum. And next I go back to the high side, get the push again from Bella. Next I just pull away after there was more contact with Samuel and Nook. And next from there I saw I can hold off Nook even with the push from Daytona, which clearly was shown, and I won the race, which feels good to go back to back, I think. Back to back in the 500. If not, well, we're 2-time champions, so I don't really care.
Speaking of that, winning your second 500 in BRL, I think you have the most 500s in the league. I just want to ask, what does that mean to you?
Well, I put more things on my career now in this league. The only thing really left to do is, I think, win a Brickyard, the Coca-Cola 600, and of course a championship. And that's I could say accomplish whatever I wanted in my career. So I'm planning for next goals since I broke another record in this league now. So feels good.
All right, one more question before we will let you go celebrate. Do you think what can we expect out of you throughout the rest of the season? Will we see more wins, Chris?
Absolutely. I promised myself if I didn't win last season champion, I will make sure that this season will be the best season of my career bike. I'm not gonna say dominate. I don't want to be cocky to myself yet, but I want to put more wins than last season and also crown myself a champion, which I didn't do last season.
All right, you heard it from the man himself. Pickle Chris wins the Daytona 500 in BRL season 5. Now, we need to bring on second place finisher Diddy Nook. Now, I don't know if he'll unmute. Eventually he will, but I wanted to see oh, Nook, come on, Nook. Is Nook awake?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
There we go. All right, Nook, driver of the number 5 SMS machine. Take me through. I know you finished second. I know that's got a sting, but take me through your last lap.
Once we hit the 2 to go restart there, I had made contact with Chris on the line. Had to get my way back up as soon as possible. There was but so much time to do it because there was a wall at the end of pit road where if you hit that, you'll just ricochet back into the field. Got through that part that scared me the most. We got to the white flag. Made the attempt to make a move with Gage, and he decided to go help the 24. So I had took my matters to my own hands and just relied on the guys behind me. Connor, I don't know if it was Connor or Trey. I got the push to get clear of the 3 cars that wrecked behind me. I know, heartbreak for Connor, feel bad for him. Heartbreak for Trey, feel bad for him. Got involved in the wreck through turns 1 to 2, down the back straight away. I thought I had it. Made the move to the inside. I got blocked by the 24 of Samuel, and then I had saw Bella push Chris out front, and then just knew it was over from there.
I do want to say, even though you're gonna hate me for saying this, you only flipped like a couple times today. And finished second. I'd say overall, is that a pretty successful day in your book?
Oh yeah, I flipped once this whole entire race. People thought I was going to flip more, but I only caused 1 caution, which was my flip.
I say pretty impressive. And the last thing I will ask you is, what can we expect from you and SMS throughout the rest of the season?
Just great teamwork. Put on what we did last year. See Trey win Vegas again. Hopefully, see Connor win at Darlington again with a round sweep, and maybe see me go 2 for 2 in Brickyard 400s this season.
All right, you heard it from the man himself, Diddy Nook, with a P2 finish. Definitely not what he wanted, but what a great start to the season it will be for that team. All right, let's move on to the biggest Olivia Rodrigo fan I know, and that is Connor driving the number 9 SMS car. See if you'll
what's up?
All right, there's Connor. Couple things I wanted to ask you. Maybe not the best race you wanted, but take me through how the race went for you overall.
Yeah, as you saw, we were all being aggressive near the beginning, and kind of wish I kept that same aggression. But since I got in that wreck, took me many laps to get merged, especially with the messed up car. Had to respawn and get a new one, and then yeah, we just kind of trained it up, which I did say I would do that, but I really wish I made moves earlier on, and I stayed committed with Chris. I promised I'd do that with the alliance we had. And I feel like if since it was mid-race, if I just made a move, that could have just changed the outcome of this so much. It could have flipped around everything. But that's something you can only look at and try to make different for next time. But I'm happy for Chris, and yeah, with that wreck on the last lap, it just things like that will happen, and it ultimately had a run and could have potentially got the lead with that. But that's just the way the things will end sometimes. Couldn't go 2 in a row.
All right, here's something I do want to ask. Since you're such a big Olivia Rodrigo fan, what is your opinion on the song Drop Dead?
Yeah, I like it. It's it's not like a rocky kind of song with rock music, like how some of hers are that I like a lot, but I certainly like this one.
Yeah, 100%. I keep listening to this song, and it's just, well, it is definitely interesting. But I do have one more question before we sign out, and that is, what can we expect from you in the rest of the season?
Yeah, I saw last season we went in and swept around. Almost won Darlington the second one. A late race caution gave Chris that win. Great for him though, putting another win onto that season. Great run he had and won the first Darlington race. I feel like definitely, and us missing a majority, or I'd say maybe third, fourth of the regular season, and still being able to go, win as much as we did. I feel like that's great momentum heading into this season, and hopefully this race here doesn't affect how we run to the end.
All right, you heard it from the man himself, the driver, the number 9, and the defending champion, Connor, driving for SMS. All right, and we are going to sign off here at Daytona. I'm Lefty, and you heard from Mr. as the main commentator, but we will see you next race. I have no idea what track it is. I'm trying to figure that out as we speak. We will see you at NS/Echo Park Speedway. We'll see you later.
It's the Glen, Lefty.
Never mind. I stand corrected. We are heading to the. Oh, we are heading to the Glen. My goodness. I apologize. Let's. Time to go ahead to the upstate New York.